everybody, today I thought I would do a video which I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, which is like a top tips for your wedding day. So I have been married now for nearly a year. I got married on the 24th of May 2015 and it was just, when I say it was the most incredible day of my life, I just can't even exaggerate to you how amazing it was. It was so stressful on the run up to it because of everything that you have to do, as any bride will know, but also it was so fun. And there's just a few little tips that I decided to write down when I was planning, just so that I can give advice to brides that I come across, just because I think that when you've been through it, instead of you know, reading things on the internet, when somebody actually talks to you about it and says, oh, I've got a great bit of advice, do this, it almost is nicer to hear from somebody who's experienced it. So this is my top tips for getting married. So the first tip, number one, that I want to talk about is definitely choosing your bridesmaids and your groomsmen very carefully. When you first get engaged, I think it's one of these crazy surreal moments where you're like, oh my god, I want blah blah and I know who I'm gonna have. But if you're planning your wedding over a certain period of time, like I planned mine over 18 months, a lot can happen in 18 months, and it's really strange to say, and I'm sure a lot of brides will agree with me, that true colours of people come out when you're planning your wedding. They also say that you could turn into a bit of a bridezilla and, you know, not be yourself, etc. However, I think it's so important to really consider who you want as your bridesmaids, because family play up as much as friends do as well. So my bit of advice for that would be, wait as long as you can, because even those who you think, oh, 100% you would never expect them to misbehave or do something, you know, crazy, sometimes that does happen and you do feel a bit disheartened by it. So always choose your bridesmaids and your groomsmen very carefully. Now, you're either going to have a partner who really wants to be involved in everything, decision making, the whole shebang, or a partner who just doesn't give two beep about what's going on. And I had the partner who literally didn't care about favours and placemats and designs of invitations, etc. I am really fortunate to have an amazing dad who literally was like the best wedding planner ever, and he was so interested, so at least that kept me off nagging Rich. But Rich was not interested whatsoever. He just did not care what the day was going to be like, because he was just like, I just want to get married to you, I don't care about what colour, theme, etc. and table decorations you're going to go for. And I was like, so disheartened, because, you know, it's so exciting and you want them to be involved. But what I want to say to you is, if you do have a partner who doesn't want to or doesn't show any interest, don't be disheartened by it, because I swear the feeling that I got when I married Rich and he realised all the hard work that we had put into it, me and my dad, I think he was just like, wow, like that's incredible, because, and I think he appreciated it much more. So don't be disheartened if they're not showing attention. Unfortunately, some people just don't have the creative eye, I'm just going to say it like that. And so just crack on and find somebody that has that mutual understanding with you. The next bit of advice that I would definitely give is to not be disheartened by people's reactions when you turn around and tell them your decisions or your ideas, because when you have an idea with a wedding, you're gonna make somebody unhappy, whether it's the venue, the day, the time. Somebody's gonna be like, make a snide remark about it, and it's gonna hurt because it's your perfect day and you want it to be amazing and perfect, and you're always gonna get one person who is just gonna rain on your parade. My advice for this would just to be stay super calm, but also lay boundaries. And I did this by making sure that the people in my family and like close network of friends knew that it was my decision, it was my wedding, and what I say goes, really, and I'm not taking shit. So if they're gonna act up, then they can say goodbye. And I found being quite blunt like that worked from the beginning. Now, every person wants to look amazing on their wedding day, and of course you do, it's your wedding day, and it's what, you know, a lot of women dream of from a young age. There's one thing that I want to say: when you go and try your wedding dress on, and you know, you've got so many styles, etc., go for something that you are 100% happy with, not your mum's 100% happy with, or your nan's 100% happy with, or your best friend says it. Go with what you feel, because you want to feel comfortable on the day. And if that means you're going to go for a crazy dress that someone doesn't approve of, like I said, it's your day. So make sure that you go with what you want and don't let anybody influence that decision, because I find that it could make you quite self-conscious and paranoid, and you don't want that feeling on the morning of your wedding when you've got a dress on and think, shit, I should have gone for a different style, or I love the other one. Go for what you want. Now, weddings are so pricey, and before you know it, you have spent thousands of pounds. Now, these days it's really popular to have like 18,000 bloody bridesmaids. So if you do decide to have a lot of bridesmaids and you are panicking about costs, etc., then I would suggest like talking to your bridesmaids and discussing with them if it's okay if they can part pay. And there's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. I paid for all of my bridesmaids' dresses, but in terms of hair and makeup and like shoes and accessories, well, accessories I did as the bridesmaids' gifts, as well as like a few other little bits and bobs. But in terms of hair and makeup, I actually asked my girls to pay for it themselves, just because before you know it, you're talking hair and makeup's probably like 60 to 70 pounds per person, and I had 7 bridesmaids. So before you know it, you're talking crazy money, and you've got to get yourself done as well and do all these things yourself. So I did that. Also, another thing that I would say worked really well for me was that I had a separate hairdresser for me and a hairdresser for the girls. I found that this worked quite well in terms of there were so many people there. It just made the morning go a little bit smoother, and also you don't have to start at like ridiculous o'clock in the morning. And then makeup wise, I actually hired 2 makeup artists, which then you know, did the bridesmaids, mum, grands, etc., and then me as well. Just helped out a little bit, but obviously it all just depends down to costs. Another massive bit of advice I have is to ensure that you are done, the bride, in plenty of time. Say for example you're getting married at 1 o'clock and you need to be ready to leave by 12:30. So ideally you want to be ready by 12:45, sorry. So ideally you want to be ready by 12:45. Make sure that your dress doesn't take too long, and then you want just like half an hour for photos, to have a drink, to absorb it all. There's nothing worse than being rushed or late on your wedding day, because it just sends you into a state of panic. So make sure that you are ready in plenty of time. So what I usually say for like talking to brides in terms of makeup and hair is like go second to last or third from last, so that you are not the last one to be done and waiting, just in case there are a few delays with other people in your bridal party. If you get a spot a couple of days before the wedding, I know it seems like the end of the world and you want amazingly clear skin, the best way for that is, like they say, good diet and drink lots of water. But if you do, the worst thing you can do is irritate it and play with it. Just let it be, okay? And just let it dry out, and fingers crossed the day it will be absolutely fine. But the worst thing that you can do is poke around and play with it and get stressed about it. Always test spray tans, eyelashes, makeup artists and skin products that you're going to wear before the big day, because there is nothing worse than having an allergic reaction to a product which you have not used, or coming out in like a crazy colour on your wedding day. I carried like a small pair of scissors and a small sewing kit with me in my like bits and bobs. I found this was so handy because you never know when you're going to need it, especially scissors as well from tags, etc. So I carried those to hand with me. Now I would recommend 100% to get a videographer, and I almost want to say, and I almost do tell people, I would pay more for a videographer than I would a photographer. I know having a photographer is an amazing thing, and most people would choose a photographer over a videographer, but I went expensive on my photographer and cheap on my videographer, which didn't matter at all to me because my wedding video is, I think, lovely, and I'm so glad I did it. But when you get your photos back, it's amazing, and they're great for that, you know, oh my gosh, my photos are here, and you can look through them, and then you put them in an album, and then the album goes underneath the stairs or in a wedding box or on a shelf, and then you don't get this album out. However, my video, I watch it probably once a month, definitely, and it is so nice because every time I watch this video I see a different side of my wedding, and I love seeing everybody's reactions and their faces, and it's just a different aspect of my day, and every time I watch it, like I said, it's something different. And also I wanted like interviews of people, of how they're feeling, etc. And I think this is such a good idea for those who might not be around for very long, that are there. Just get them to say a little something, and I just said to my videographers about it, and by them saying something, you've always got that memory of them talking on your wedding day, which I think is just so special, and I think that's just a really nice idea. So personally, I 100% recommend a videographer and a photographer, but a videographer definitely captures, you know, different side of it, and the bits that you miss when you're trying to get ready, etc. You can watch and see what everyone was thinking and doing, etc. So I would definitely 100% get a videographer. If anybody is attending your wedding who is disabled, then make sure that a space is left at the beginning or in good view of the aisle, so that they aren't feeling like they can't see anything. And also, when you walk down the aisle, everyone stands. Well, obviously if you're in a wheelchair you can't stand, so just bear in mind that they've got a clear view of seeing you walk down the aisle, and also a clear view of you getting married. I just find that that's like an extra added touch for them to make them feel a little bit more special. Now, one thing that I'm so glad that I did was I actually told the registrar to inform all my guests just before the ceremony began to not upload any photos to social media, because I just wanted the day, just all of us, and I had very close people there, and I just wanted it just us, nothing on social media. So I got the registrar just to make a little announcement, just to say, Tash says, you know, photos and videos are absolutely fine to take, but please no uploading to social media until the following day. And everyone was amazing because no one uploaded anything until I uploaded my first photo the following day, and then everyone was texting me like, is it okay to upload? And I was like, yeah, go for it now. But it was just nice because your life wasn't on Facebook, and those that are coming to the evening that weren't attending the day get to see you firsthand as a surprise, not, oh wow, she looks great on Facebook or Instagram. So I definitely think that that was a really, like, a must for a bridal party to tell your guests if that's what you want. The majority of brides obviously want a beautiful sunny day with no rain and etc. And sometimes it just doesn't happen like that. I prayed for no rain, etc. And my day was so overcast, and I had an outside ceremony, and I was so scared that it was going to pour of rain, and thank God it didn't. We were so lucky. It was very overcast though. Now, I was really gutted because the day before was the original date I was meant to get married, and the venue messed up and had double booked us, so I got given Sunday, short straw. And I was so upset because the Saturday was so beautiful, and I was like, oh my God, I bet you it's just gonna pour of rain. And it was so overcast, and I was just staring at it the whole morning, just worrying and praying. And you know what? I started to walk down that aisle, and I can't tell you, I didn't even think about that weather for the rest of it. So it's unnecessary stress. The day will be exactly how it's meant to be. And you know, I noticed that in my photos there's not one person squinting, so therefore everyone looks great in my photos. Not saying that getting married on a sunny day, because obviously it's amazing, my venue was stunning, it would have looked crazy beautiful with, you know, bright blue skies, but it's not the end of the world, so don't be disheartened by the weather. It is what it is. You can't control it, unfortunately, unless you go abroad, but just enjoy it for what it is. I made quite a few Pinterest albums before the wedding day. I was a bit obsessed, actually. I made lots, and with these albums it was really good because it gave me an idea of the sort of things that I wanted, like hairstyles, makeup styles, favors and photography ideas, etc. And this gave me a really good clear indication, and also gave the people that were helping out do all these things an indication of what I wanted as well. So I suggest making these albums is really good. Then you can always just send them over to the people that are doing it for you, like your photographer, and just say, oh, I really like this style photography, and oh, I love that photo, is there any chance we can reenact that? And it just gives them more of a creative idea as well on things that you like, and then they can adapt to that and change it, etc. Talking of photographers, another really great idea is to write a little list of all the photographs that you want, like the groupings, like your family, his family, mixed together friends, you know, distant relatives, etc. And this is really good because you don't want to be faffing around calling people like blah blah blah, and you need, you know, Aunt Lynn, I need you. You don't need all of that on your wedding day. So this gives the photographer a great chance, because he then can be the one directing and saying, you know, come over here guys, you know, next up is blah blah blah. And it just makes things go a lot more smoothly, because before you know it, photos, you plan like an hour and a half, I think, for like canopies, drinks, welcome drinks and photographs, and then before you know it, everyone's like, oh, can I have a photo, can I have a photo? And like you haven't got time because you need to go and move on and do the rest of the things. So I would definitely write a little list and just give it to your photographer on the morning of the wedding and just say, look, can you please make sure that these photos are done? And then they're done. Now there's one thing that I was recommended to do, and that is in between your wedding breakfast and your evening reception, you are given probably around about an hour to just go and relax, have a drink, freshen up, ready for the evening. Now this time we took to just go off, just me and Rich, and we went back to the room and we just sat and chatted, and we freshened up and stuff like that, you know. I retouched my makeup and, you know, he just relaxed and chilled out. But it was so nice because we finally got that little bit of time just to embrace what was going on and take it all in, absorb the atmosphere as such, and it was so nice to do. So I would say, if you can, just take like half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, just have some time by yourself, just reflect on what's going on, and I think that was really nice. And my biggest tip of them all is one that I just makes me melt when I think of it, and that is when you get married and you're walking down the aisle, hold hands and just literally do not let go. And I know that sounds so cringy, but you are going to be pulled pillar to post of people wanting to talk to you and admire you and look at your dress and see how you're feeling, etc. And before you know it, you've been parted and separated, and then an hour goes by and you still haven't even seen each other. So Rich and I held hands, we just didn't let go, and with that we were able to just talk to everyone together and share that experience about how we were feeling together, and it was just the nicest feeling ever. So yeah, hold hands and don't let go. So that is my top tips of getting married. I'm sure there's loads more that I can't think of. I wrote those down and they've been in my notes on my phone for so long, and I was like, I have to film that because there's so many good ideas, I feel, are great tips for brides to be, and getting married is so exciting. So congratulations to anybody who's got engaged and is planning their wedding. And if you have any tips of your own, make sure that you comment below, because it's great for other people to read and also for me to pass on to people as well. But really hope you enjoyed this video, and it's a little bit different. I don't really talk about my wedding a lot because it just came and went, and then I got pregnant, so you know, I didn't really get a chance to. But I hope you enjoyed it, and give it a like and a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Take care guys, bye.